Welcome to the shop, everybody. Today I'm working on my bus. Had a lot of problems with it since I installed fuel injection. Some of y'all may not be familiar with that or even know that you could install fuel injection on a old school Volkswagen engine. I just figured I'd give you a look at it and show you what I did here. You need some basic components. You need throttle bodies like these over here. Those are basically what replaces your carb. Then you've got injector rails. In my case, the injectors are fit straight into the throttle bodies. And then you've got some basic sensors behind the crank, thanks to a dude named Mario at the Dub Shop. Behind the crank right here is a little sensor. That sensor picks up magnetic pulses off of a tooth wheel in the back of the crank, and that kind of replaces your distributor. And what that allows you to do is sense when to spark. The spark is controlled by a timing computer, sends a signal to this guy right here. The computer's under the seat in the bus. It controls all of this stuff. You've got some basic inputs like intake air temperature, throttle position, manifold air pressure. Tells your vehicle what to do. So manifold air pressure is the one that we're addressing today. Basically, this thing is a booger to start. And what you don't have in this setup is an idle air controller. Idle air controller, what it does, bleeds air in for a warm-up idle enrichment so that you don't have to flutter the throttle whenever you start it. This is a giant mess of wires. I'm gonna take the motor out and clean up the mess. This was done in a hurry right before a show, so not my best work. So we're gonna address that and make it all pretty. But idle air controller, CB Performance, sells this guy. This guy is an idle air controller in a block. These two go each one of your throttle bodies to bleed air into there. Then you've got intake air. What they want you to do is bring this up to the air filters on top. I haven't put the air filters on yet, and they want that filtered air. Get it, but I'm just gonna put an independent filter on it and run it that way. And then this little guy right here runs your fuel pressure regulator, which maintains constant pressure on your fuel lines, and it also runs your MAP, manifold air pressure sensor. So you split this off and it goes to your MAP. Hopefully it'll clean up the signal that I've been getting to the MAP because it is just all over the place. I'm not gonna make you watch me take this motor out, just going to start doing it. Just thought of this. This is your wideband O2 sensor. It tells the computer exactly how much air and fuel are going through the exhaust system. Kind of a bad placement for it. It probably should be right here so that it can collect all the cylinders. It's kind of off to one side, so it's not exactly 100% accurate. So it can't tell exactly what's going on with the air and fuel, but it is a pretty cool component. You don't necessarily only have to run these on cars with an ECU. If you have a carburetor, you could run one of these up to a meter on your dash, and it tell you your exact air fuel ratio at idle and all that stuff, so that you could make corrections in the carb for that. Kind of a pretty cool little feature. Just sitting here listening to the illustrious call of backhoe, and just really dreading taking this engine out. Mostly because there's so many connections, and partly because I've done it about, I guess this would probably be the 7th or 8th time taking it out, and it's always been something different. Once it was for a flywheel, knocked some teeth off of it and it wouldn't start. There have been a couple things kept me from really making progress. You put in the work, you get so far, and then you get frustrated, and I find that's time. Put that project on the shelf for a little bit and then maybe come back to it. The only way I've found to really stay motivated on this stuff is, as my buddy says, you gotta want it. So as you can see, we've got ourselves an oil leak. Yeah, I really can't tell where it's coming from. It's either coming from between the sump and the bottom of the engine or behind the flywheel, dripping down between the engine and the transmission. There's oil all over that area. We're gonna have to take a closer look and see. Either way, it's gonna be a pain, because if it's a sump, we gotta drain all the oil and take the sump cover off and do some maintenance there. If it's the flywheel, we gotta take the flywheel off, clutch plate and clutch disc, realign the clutch, all that stuff. So either way, it's gonna be a pain. So we'll see what we can do about it once we get the engine out, see where it's coming from.